Okay, now we're going to move on to making the water jug, and the command we're going to use to make the water jug is the loft command. Firstly, what we need to do to use the loft command is build a path that we're going to loft shapes along. So I'm just going to use the line command under splines to draw just a very straight spline. Now my water jug is going to be relatively circular, so I'm just going to use circles. So in my top view I'm just going to quickly line it up and I'm going to draw some circles. Now I'm not going to draw lots of individual circles. How I like to do this is by just cloning the one circle up and then resetting its sizes. So if we hold down the shift key and use the move command and lock off the Z and just move them to roughly where we want them. So this will be where my foot tightens down. This will be where my body is big again. This will be where the body starts to taper off onto the neck, and this will be the top. So basically I've got enough shapes in here now just to build my water jug. So then what we do is we select, say, the lower circle and we set the base of the foot. We then select the next one up and we set the size of the body, and we do this all the way up until we get to the top. Now these circles could have been put all on the 0 elevation and then just picked when we needed them. However, I like to place them where they're going to be, simply so that I have a point of reference when I'm building. So now what we need to do is go back to geometry, select our spline, which would be up the center, and pick loft. We then need to go and select shapes to loft along this path. So firstly we pick the foot, and there we see it's lofting up the overall shape. And then what we need to do is use the path parameters here to start setting where the next shape is going to be placed. So I'm just going to scroll up my path parameter to say about there and click Get Shape. So there you can see it's tightened down to that smaller circle. Again, I'm just going to slide up my path parameter and get the next shape along. And there you see it's taken the next shape up. And I do this all the way up until I get to the top of my water vase. Or water jug in this case. And there we have the very basics for my water jug. You might be saying to yourself, that could have been done with the revolve command, and yes, it could have. The one thing that you can't do with the revolve command though, that you can do with loft, is to edit these shapes. Say we might want to break this down to a spline, and we might take an edge out like that. Now if we had picked this shape at that point instead of the circle that was there, so I'm just going to tell it to go down to previous shape, and I'm going to pick a shape to go over that. So I'm just going to get the shape. So there we can see that the water jug now has quite a large top. Now you can't do that with revolve. I mean, you could edit it afterwards with revolve to get that shape, but you can't actually model it in one swing and get that shape. That's the basics of the loft command and using it to make this water jug. Now if you want to get more complex and say put a join in here and build a lid for it, say use the revolve command and the loft command to do this. And once you've done that, come back to the next part of this tute and we'll talk about using what's called a sub-object material to apply a multicolored material onto this jug.